Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc. This is my final video for tonight. It is going to be an excessively long video. I'm probably going to go past midnight because I have no idea what damn time it is right now. Instagram, you're here. Okay, it is 11 something. It's 11:30 something. Alright, so I'm probably going to go over my midnight thing. This video sucks. So let me put that out there right now. This video fucking sucks. Alright? The multiplicity of this video for you guys on Instagram is that, this shit's gonna suck. Alright. So as you know, I'm getting my bearings a little better here on Instagram. I'm doing a little bit better on Instagram than I'm doing on Facebook and than I've been doing on TikTok. However, some of my TikTok fam is here, so thank you guys for being here. This is a very sensitive topic. So, I just want you to understand it. First, let me clarify, so that everybody understands where I'm coming from. My name, James Williams Jr. My ethnicity, Cherokee Indian, black, and white. No matter how you put it, no matter what order it's in, it's always going to be the same. I am not a racist. I don't have the right to be a racist because I am the three races that built this country until other countries started coming in. I have the right to call out racism, and I generally do. Alright? But I usually keep that shit off of my Instagram page. Except tonight. Tonight I'm flipping the fucking script. It's on Instagram and it's going to be on YouTube. And I apologize in advance for the shit that's going to fly out my mouth. I do not tell lies. I'm against lies on every aspect of life. I will give you 99.9 and you will have to figure out the other 1,000 on your own. There's been a lot of Asian hate. Yeah, I'm going there. I'm straight going there. It has not just been from white people attacking Asians. There's also been black people attacking Asians. So let's clarify that shit right off the bat. That there is no race of humanity that does not have people of their race in it that is not racist. Alright? So for anybody who's saying, oh, it's just white people, it's just black people. No. It's every fucking body. Everybody has a family or so in a group of people, no matter what your fucking ethnicity is or your nationality or whatever the fuck you call yourself. Everyone has someone in there, that whole clusterfuck, that is racist. Now, whether they are on the surface racist, which means they are real and they are true to themselves and they're not those undercover racists that's going to stab you in the back when you least expect them, or they're not that undercover racist friend that you don't know is racist until you go to like an anti-rally of a support that you would never support because certain people are racist, and if they're not racist, they still support racist ideology, which still fucks you up. Alright? Because you don't have to be a racist to follow a racist. Alright? And that's just a fact. You may not be racist, but you might like the racial ideology, and you might, well, this kind of works for me, even though the thing he's saying about other people isn't correct. And I just fucked up when I pushed whatever button I just pushed on this damn... There it is. I hate technology. I swear to God, I hate technology. Before something inappropriate pops up. I hope my camera's still running for Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Okay, it's still running. I swear, I have not been having a great day at all. Oh, what the fuck. So as you guys can see, yeah, I don't know what the fuck just happened. Alright, come here, you fucking... There we go. Alright. We're back. We're back. Alright. So, it's time for shit to get real. Alright. Outside of this fact that I'm not doing Monologue Monday tonight just because of the shit that I've seen all day today. So on TikTok today, a guy I follow, he's Chinese. He's Ghost something. I don't want to give out his whole name. And then there's a couple of natives that I follow, and a couple of other Asians that I follow that have broadcast a lot of Asian hate. The one that pissed me off the most was the one with the American-born Korean guy and his wife, and they're having their first baby, and they're getting chewed out at the hospital. You guys can go find that. It's fucking awful, because first off, when a person is having their baby, I don't have kids, but I know that for the people who in my family had kids, their first kid is like that blossom. Okay, let's make sure everything goes right. Everybody's scared. The man's scared. The woman's scared. And I had this couple go through this shit by another couple waiting in the nursery because they were Asian and being told get the fuck out the hospital and go back to your country and all this other shit. That shit needs to stop. Alright? It needs to stop, and it needs to stop right now. Let me break this down for y'all and do my best to like fight back tears for this shit. I have been following quite a few people on TikTok. And yeah, I got a lot of Asian people that I follow. And I got a lot of Native Americans that I follow. Because these issues are my issues. Because I'm mixed. So trust me, whatever affects a Native American is going to affect me on some level or another. Because I'm part Native American. Whatever affects an Asian person, I have a lot of Asian friends. And my crush is one of the prettiest Asians on the planet. We'll give you her sign. Anyway, moving on. I seen some shit over the last 3 years and some change when this shit really started. And we don't sit down and address it. We don't sit down and talk about it. We just let, oh, well, the next person will deal with it. I watched a video of a black man that got caught by a group of black men after punching an 80-year-old Asian woman in the face, which happened a week after another giant black man kicked a 65-year-old Filipino woman on her way to church, where 3 other black men just watched that shit happen. Now I'm going to get Chinese on you really quickly because this is one that I learned while doing Kung Fu and watching Vanishing Sun. The only thing it takes for evil to succeed is for good people to stand by and do nothing. How many of us fucking people are going to stand by and do nothing? Now, I watched another guy who's Asian, cool-ass motherfucker, another soldier, so I will not give his name out, but I will salute him and how he said, why don't you try coming to do that shit with him? He's a big cock motherfucker. He's like solid. There's no fat on this fella. And he's in the army. I'm going to be honest. I want him to go find these people and fuck them up. Anytime that you can go around and beat on somebody who cannot defend yourself, you are a piece of shit. I'm sorry. You are a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck what your color is. I don't give a fuck what your gender is. You are a piece of shit. I have mentioned this before on my YouTube channel, and again, I do try to keep this shit off of my Instagram, but I'm at the point now where I just don't give a fuck because this shit has to stop, and someone has to address it, and no one's really addressing it. And we are not addressing it because we believe that someone else is going to fucking deal with it. Forgive me. Wake the fuck up, America. No one's gonna fucking deal with it. We need to deal with it. America is the worst country when it comes to racism. Period. There are other countries, there are other stories. But America has been the forerunner of the worst fucking country for fucking racism from the dawn of its discovery after the Native Americans had the run. Now, Native Americans fought each other, but they fought each other over land and women and tribal goods and shit like that. So they're not 1,000% saints. But once the country fell from their grace, it became a big problem. Once the gates opened to allow other countries in, that's when racism started becoming an issue where no one gave a flying fuck about your feelings and no one gave a fuck about the quality of a human that you are. Yeah, you fish very well. Yeah, you build the railroads very well. Yeah, you cultivate horses very well. Fuck you. You're this or you're that. And this or that is the racist innuendos that I'm not going to use. And no one sat back and said this shit is wrong. 1,000 years later, we're still doing that same shit. And no one's sitting back and saying, hey, this shit's not okay. Now, we are doing a little bit of things when it comes to the violence. But we're too little too late on that shit. This shit is not new. This shit is not new. When black people were getting attacked, this shit is not new. When white people were getting attacked, when Asian people were getting attacked, this shit is not new. The only thing about it now is that we have this thing called technology. Now it's being reported more. Now it's being recorded more. And no one's getting off their ass to make a fucking difference. No one. I do what I can when I make these videos, but I'm one guy. I don't have enough followers to make an impact. All I can do is drop some truth, and you're either going to be with me or you're not. But for the people who have more followers, we need to address that shit. If you're a lot more famous than me, you need to address that shit. It's the same thing with the goddamn Standing Rock shit. The first thing everybody's like was like, well, James, you know you're not full-blooded Cherokee, so it doesn't even have anything to do with Cherokee because it's Lakota. Something that the Native Americans learned when they lost this country was what happens to one tribe will happen to all tribes, which is what fucking made Geronimo and Sitting Bull take a fucking stand. Understand how that shit works. Pocahontas was a delicate. She tried to delegate peace and all that other shit. But when you look at people like Swanto, or you look at, not Tonto, Swanto, Thanksgiving guy, then you look at Geronimo and you look at Sitting Bull, and you like, okay, well, a lot of people see them as tyrants, the same way people see Genghis Khan. But when you look at the other side of that track, you got to be like, oh, okay, now we see why they did that shit. But here's the thing. There's no fucking excuse for racism. You hate me because I'm an asshole. I'm 1,000% okay with that. You hate me because I'm mixed. Fuck you. I didn't get a choice. I didn't get to say, hey God, I want to be a full-blooded Cherokee. Boom! Your ass is half black, half white, motherfucker. Bam! There you go. You don't get to tell God what you want to be when you're in whatever limbo or religion belief that you are before you get the body and the family that you are. You don't get a choice. You don't get a choice of your gender. You don't get a choice of your financial, any of that shit. You don't get none of that. But you do get a choice of what comes out of your mouth. You do get a choice on why you choose to hate somebody. If you hate one person because they're Asian, or because one Asian person did something to you that's unfucking forgivable, that's that one Asian person. That's not every Asian person. If you hate one black person because one black person kicked your ass or pissed you off or did some shit, pissed in your fucking cereal, you cannot hate every black person for that one individual that fucked up. And that goes for a white person or any other ethnicity as well. Even though biologically and scientifically there are only 3 human species. We have Caucasoid, Negroid, and we got fucking damn Mongoloid. And then you have me, the hybrid of all 3. So big fucking whoop. The problem is really simple. We don't want to acknowledge it. Racism could have been finished way back in the 90s. Way back before Columbine, before all these other fucking school shootings and everything, even what happened today. This shit could have been addressed. It could have been addressed. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I have any Canadian friends out here, and I know I do, I never had a problem when I went to Canada. When I went into a place full of white people, I was treated as if I was a white person. When I went into a place full of black people, I was treated as if I was a black person. And guess what? Here's the fucking shocker. When I was in Toronto, not one time did I hear the N-word by black people. Not one time. Not one damn time where I was at in Toronto, I did not hear the N-word by black people. Fucking blew my mind. When I went to a place where there was only Asians, I was treated like I was an Asian person. And that's where we need to look for. We need to treat people like they are us, because they are us. The skin and our shape of our face does not make you who you are. The inside is what makes you who you are. How you treat somebody is what makes you who you are. Yeah, you might not like me because I'm two-tone. Yeah, I'm high yellow. This is my true skin tone up here. I didn't get an option of that. I just don't wear long sleeve shirts. But I work outside. So, the sun's going to be there. I'm totally against long sleeve shirts unless it's cold as shit. There are more people like me who feel this way. But the problem is, most people don't want to stand up. Most people don't want to say anything. Most people don't want to do anything because they are afraid of backlash. Well, I don't have a career, so you can backlash me all I want, but I'm going to drop the truth whether you like it or not. I probably will never get a career after this live, but that's okay. I haven't had a career in 20 years. What's 20 more? We need to stop racism. We literally need to sit down and get a group of everybody who is reasonable, who can actually hear and listen to what the problems are. Alright? First, let me put all of our commonalities on the table. And this, if you don't agree with this, well, you may need a shower. We like to brush our teeth. We like our noses clean. We like our health. We all love to wash our ass. We love our hygiene. No one wants to stink. That right there is one of the things that each and every one of us do, with the exception of those who don't have a home, who don't have money, who don't have a good job to take care of themselves, generally go out and do. And those people who don't have any other things I just named, they find ways to cleanse themselves. Alright? If they gotta wash at a water hose, if they gotta wash at a fucking spigot, if they gotta take a creek bath, they will find a way to be clean because everyone wants to be clean. It's a damn shame that we can't clean our attitudes toward each other the way we clean our bodies, because everybody takes baths. If I cut my hand right now, red blood would come out. If everyone watching cut their hand right now, red blood would come out, unless you are a fucking Taurian, or a Solarian, or a Reaper, or an Asari. They got different colored bloods, or Krogan. You know, if you don't know what that is, that's a reference for Mass Effect, just because Mass Effect's coming really, really soon. But if you haven't played the game, Mass Effect has racism in the game. It is not towards like a specific human race, but a species, where one of the characters, who's a Turian, says, "You humans are all racist." Think about that. An alien telling humans they are all racist. That is about the most 100% true thing ever heard in a fucking video game. Look in the mirror. We're all guilty of this too. I didn't get this job because an underqualified Asian person got it. Or I didn't get this job because an underqualified black person got it. Or I didn't get this job because a female got this job. We've all said that shit. You might not mean it in a disrespectful manner, but we've all said it, we've all thought it, we've all lived it. I didn't get a job because I just wasn't fucking qualified for the job. No, which is why I only apply for jobs that I literally am qualified for. I do not try to overreach when it comes to anything. Alright? Maybe acting. I still need some work there and honing that craft. But when it comes to every damn thing else, you ain't got to be that qualified to push a goddamn broom across the floor. You really don't. I don't have a problem sweeping dirt up. I've been cleaning for a long time. I like cleaning things. It's not something that I'm proud of, but it's an honest living. You know, I don't want to be a fucking janitor. But when I was in grade school, no one ever told me that life was going to be like this. What people did tell me was how noticeable that I was going to be the victim of racism from kindergarten to college. That I was going to be the victim of bullying from kindergarten to college. For all my life, someone was going to find something to pick on the half-breed for. You know, when I was younger, it was mostly black kids that would tell me, "You're not good enough for us because you're not really one of us. You're half black." Then the white kids would tell me the same damn thing. Then when I found out I was part Native American, now they have a triple threat that they can pick on me. And I didn't have but 2 bad experiences with Native Americans. And that was when I was in my 20s. 2, because I'm not pure blood. And they specifically pointed that out. So that the girl that I was interested in, because she was one of the high chiefs or the counselor's daughters, they told me I could not date her because I'm not pure blood. So when it comes down to racism, trust me when I tell you, I'm the motherfucker that can tell you the truth about this shit. There is not a person on earth who has not come from a culture that does not have racism in it. Now, whether you accept it or whether you deal with it is on you. Just because your culture says you can't do this doesn't mean you have to do that. You can make a change in life. You just have to choose to do that. You know, I have to say, most of my best friends are fucking Asians. You know, most of my friends that are black, they're cool as shit. And most of my friends that are white, they're blacker than I am. Because they do more shit that black people do that I just am not qualified for. You don't know how many times I've been told that I was a secret Asian man. But I'm multicultural. Let's not deny any of my heritage until it involves me not being able to get an acting job for 20 years because no one can say, "Oh, well, you know, you don't look black enough." They won't say it to my face, but they have hinted many a times. Plenty of times that I've gone for jobs and I put black on my application because my fucking birth certificate says I'm black. The black people have said, "Are you sure you are black?" And I have to go into the whole genealogy of my fucking birth. We have to stop this shit. And by we, I don't mean just me making these corny ass videos about how, you know, I've been picked on. No, it goes deeper than that. We can't allow it to continue, and yet we do. Most of us don't say anything, and it's not a bad thing to sometimes mind your business, but sometimes it's a very bad thing to mind your business. I mean, if it's an argument, alright, I can see you just sliding on by. But seeing somebody get their ass whooped, even if you can't fight, you can at least scream. You know, you can yell out, "Hey, don't do that," and that gives that other person time to go away. You know, or crawl off or whatever. You know, it does something. Now, as a soldier, I gotta say it, and I hate saying it because when I was a soldier, we didn't have color. We had one color; it was green. My entire time in boot camp, I was a bitch and I was a dick. I was never anything else. I was a broke dick twice. So, I spent a little time in sick call, and hip replacement proved that to be a correct thing to do. But the sick call is what ruined the hip even more because we thought it was a knee. I have been a bitch in Bravo. I've been a dick in Bravo. I got thrown out of golf. I wanted to kill a couple of drill sergeants. One was Asian and one was white. And they were 25 years old and abusing their powers. And then I found myself a home in Delta. I didn't want to leave Delta, but some asshole fucked it up. It was one of our battle buddies, and I had to run to the tree of woe. Whoa! Fucked up my leg. So yeah, we have to find a way that we can all look at each other and see humans before race, before gender. No, don't worry, I'm not done. Gender is a whole nother form of prejudice that we also tend to just overlook. I am not against people living the alternative lifestyle. I'm not really going to date you. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not into the alphabet squad thing. Alright? I may date some of you. Lesbians. I will date lesbians. Okay. That was not a joke. I really will date lesbians. But that's where it ends right there. Now, we got so many other problems to worry about that make their problems look a little bit minute. But the truth of the matter is, they actually have more problems than we do, especially the transgender kids. They can't go to the fucking bathroom in which they identify with because some jackass adult thinks that, hey, a 6-year-old girl that wants to be a boy is a fucking pervert. Or vice versa. A 6-year-old boy who wants to be a girl is a pervert. So instead of making the kid feel comfortable or giving them a gender-neutral bathroom, we gotta take their asses to court. That's some shit that's been happening down here in Virginia, in case y'all ain't up to speed because of all the other shit that's all over the news. Why are you picking on children that are having gender dysmorphia? That's the name of it. I probably didn't even say this shit right. It's another form of fucking racism and prejudice. Now, there are some things that I will have to make a total separate video about because there are some things that I'm not really down with because of the simple fact that they're talking about this shit on TikTok too, and they're talking about it on Instagram about the transgender athletes. Alright? I don't want to touch that here, but in case anybody's thinking about it, let me just put it to you this way. There's a fuck ton of money to be made if you just go ahead and make a transgender league. Everybody's happy. You have your NFL, you have a transgender NFL, and then you have your ladies NFL. Problem fucking solved. Ooh, a fucking genius moment. Now, with all you assholes that have money, just like pop that up. The problem is solved. I just solved the world right there when it comes to transgender athletes making little girls feel bad or making little boys feel bad. Alright? However that works, I don't really give a shit. If you're transgender, knock yourself out. But for all you people who have money that run all these sports clubs, because I don't do sports, transgender athletes are still athletes. Let them play. Let them run. Just give them their own fucking league, and then everybody can shut the fuck up. Now back to the Asian hate. Alright. I want y'all to let this sit in. You know, over the last 3 weeks, there's been multiple attacks on elderly Asian people. Over the last 6 years, this shit's actually been happening. But it only got worse with the Wuhan virus thing that happened. And then everybody started, for some reason, just magnifying it on all Asian people. Okay, most Asian people. Because there are a lot of racist people who don't know the difference between Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Laos, Malaysia. Do I need to keep going? Because in case you don't have your history together, Native Americans are also Asian. They came from Asia through the land bridge and discovered this country. And they made a big impact by splintering out and becoming the tribes from the top of Canada all the way to the bottom of South America. And prior to that, an actual Chinese man discovered America long before that. So, he was a sailor. He got lost. But history is full of mysteries. But racism can be stopped. Hatred towards Asians because of our former president, adding on to that, and still changing. You know, we have a choice. We have a choice. We're just not making it. It's really that simple. You know, tomorrow we're going to read more bad news. Next week we're going to read more bad news. Asian hate's going to climb, and no one's going to do anything. This video is only going to make it to the people here. Everyone else is never going to see this video. They're not going to see my video on YouTube. They're not going to give a damn. But for everyone here, now is our time to give a damn. I have a fuck ton of Asian friends. Out of my Asian friends, I would say maybe 7 actually know martial arts. 2 of them are girls, so don't fuck with them. They will beat your ass. The other guys all were in movies with me when I first started this gig. They will beat your ass. Just saying. They will beat your ass. The one guy I'm not sure knows martial arts. He takes pictures. He's doing pretty good for himself up top. He will probably beat your ass and take your picture right after. I'm not promoting violence against Asians. But I am telling my Asian friends, stand up for yourself because I can't be there. I don't have the means to travel up there. But stand up for yourself. If you feel you are threatened, don't hesitate to fucking strike back. And I'm sorry for anybody that I just offended with that. But those are my friends. And more importantly than that, those are my fucking family because they have been better to me than my own damn family. So, how do we stop it? How do we change it? First, we need to sit the fuck down. What is it about Asians that you don't like? What is it about blacks that you don't like? What is it about whites that you don't like? What is it about culture that you don't understand, that you don't like? Because you can't change my culture and you can't change my race. $20,000, you might be able to change my gender, but I'm not going to lay there and let that shit happen because I'm good where I am. I'm good being a man. Alright? You're not going to read about me 20 years later and find out that I'm an 80-year-old woman. No, I'm good with being a man. But what is it that we all need to sit the fuck down and talk about so that we don't have to hear about Asian woman being set on fire by 4 girls at a bus stop? We don't have to hear about an Asian man being sprayed on the L train with Febreze by a black fella. We don't have to hear about an old woman in San Francisco or somewhere out west getting hit by a fucking white dude and her picking up a stick and going to his ass. You know, we don't have to have this shit continue. We don't have to have a group of black people watching an elderly Asian man trying to collect cans getting hit by a black dude with a stick while everyone else just sits there and watches this shit. Yeah, I get it. You're all a little bit afraid. But you're all enjoying the fucking show. That could be your grandfather. The shoes could be reversed. It could be an Asian man attacking a black guy. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know, everybody who sits here and watches this shit and we pull out our cell phones and record it when we should be fucking calling 911. No, it's oh, I got this. Yeah. Oh, look at this shit. Yeah. No. Stop recording. Start doing. Start getting your shit together. Because recording it, yeah, you're taking a good record. But in the end, it's a record that doesn't make a difference. Yeah, it may look like it's going to make a difference. And if we're blessed enough to catch the fucking criminal, then it made a difference. But other people that are gathering around, yeah, I know shock is a thing. The first time I seen the disposal of a claymore, and by that I mean when they was teaching us how to disconnect it at Fort Benning, when they finally showed us what happens when you don't disconnect it and blow shit up. You know, the shock factor was a motherfucker. When they showed us how powerful an IED that could be this small can blow a fucking Hummer over a fucking house. Yeah, I get it. You can be shocked at some point at some time. But shock can't last forever. You have to understand that you have to also snap your ass back out of it. You know, it's not just my training. It's just the whole fucking thing is that we do see this shit and we say nothing. And when we do say something, we say it at that moment and then we don't do anything about it afterwards. For example, so that I don't keep you guys all night, a 65-year-old Filipino woman. Let it sink in before I say what I have to say. Yeah, the one who was kicked in the face by a guy who killed his own fucking mother. Let it sink in. Yeah, let it sink in for a minute. You know, this guy, just like 6'8". He was like omega big. And he kicked this little Filipino woman on her way to church in the face. Not once. Not twice. 3 times. 3 men in the doorway. Nothing. I know they got fired. Serve you right. No. What if that would have been your wife? What if that would have been your daughter? Your sister? Your mother? Would you have not wanted someone to come out that fucking door and help her? The 70-year-old that was busted up in the eye and had that stick that taught the white dude. What if that had been your mother? Your grandmother? Your sister? Cousin? Daughter? You would want someone to fucking help them. We got a long way to go, y'all. We got a long fucking way to go. And until we do what we need to do, until we get off our fucking ass and start talking and listening and understanding that we all have one thing in common if we have nothing else. We all have feelings. And feelings are hurt. Getting kicked in the face fucking hurts. How do you think these victims felt when people are around and nothing was done? I'll tell you how they felt. I'll tell you all this story before I'll tell you again. When I was 16 years old, I might have been 17. So for the sake of argument, let's say between the ages of 16 and 19, because that was the last year that I worked at Kegler's at 19. But this happened the year before, so I had to be between 16 and 18, somewhere in there. I was showing my martial arts skills off once. And I showed it to a guy who told his friends that I was a badass. I didn't know he told his friends this shit. I went to take out the trash, and they proceeded to jump me. I won. By the grace of God, I won. I didn't panic, They gave me incentive because they told me they were going to put me in a dumpster, and I'm exceptionally claustrophobic. It comes from a childhood trauma. Trust me, I'm claustrophobic like a motherfucker. You can whoop my ass, but you're not putting me in a trash can. And that was what they told me they were going to do. I'm not getting in a trash can. Big green dumpsters, no, that shit's not a fucking option. Don't know what's in there. So when I won the fight, my co-worker, it's a ginger, it's all the way down the street. He watched. He watched the whole time, but these 2 white dudes decided they were going to jump me on my job at Kegler's. Same place where a guy called me chief for 3 years straight, even though he could see my damn name tag. It's kind of how it felt, to have my co-worker watch me as if I was a phony, and then finally praise me after seeing what I could do. Kind of fucking sucks. His name was Chris, by the way. It's a redhead guy. He was like maybe 27 at the time. I was like still a teen. I didn't hold it against him, because he found out that I wasn't the one to fuck with when I flipped those guys off me who were way bigger than me. But the point of the matter is, he watched. He did nothing. He was too busy trying to get his man on with these 2 hot chicks that he was talking to, while I was busy trying to make sure that my ass didn't die with these two big dudes that was trying to fuck my shit up. And yeah, they were white dudes. But it wasn't about me being mixed. It wasn't about them being white. It was that they just wanted to see if I could fucking fight. But not everybody is a martial artist. Not everybody can fight their way out of a wet paper bag with holes in it. The elderly cannot defend themselves, and it doesn't matter what their fucking race is. I would not, anybody, attack my grandmother. She's the only grandmother I got left. My dad's mother's passed. My dad's mother's mother passed. I wouldn't want anybody to hurt anybody else's grandmother. Do I want to take a bullet for their grandmother? Probably not. Will I? The only way to know is to have it happen in front of me and see. Because there's a lot of people that says that I will do this or I will do that. You do not know what the fuck you're going to do until that position puts you in that position. I've had a lot of people tell me they got my back. Only a few of the motherfuckers I know for sure have my back. And those are the ones I met before I got in the Army. I know all of Bravo, except for 2. And I know all of Delta, except maybe 1, has my back. As far as golf is concerned, none of those motherfuckers got my back. I know a couple of Rangers that's got my back. But I also know that most soldiers ain't going to stand there unless somebody beat up an old lady and do nothing. To you 3 individuals who watched a 65-year-old lady get kicked in the face 3 times and close the door on her instead of giving her aid. There's a special place in hell for you. I hope to see you there, because I know that's where I'm going. By force or by course, because I'm going to teach you something when I get there. So I can end this live, I want you guys to understand one thing. Racism is a disease. It's bigger than a virus. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. And it will continue to be the one thing that stops humanity from excelling, and becoming the greatness that we can be. Because none of us is willing to sit down and fucking talk about this shit. We want to turn a blind eye. We want to run away. We want to make sure that no matter what we do, we ignore it. We ignore it. We ignore it. And we continue to ignore it. The more we ignore it, the bigger it grows. And it becomes overwhelming. No. I know America is not a country full of saints, but no country is a country full of saints. Racism exists, and it will continue to exist because we fucking allow it to exist. We don't want it to go away, so we let it linger. Something happens, unless someone gets hurt really bad, we let it linger. And until we all get a grip, because a lot of people, it's kind of like this coronavirus, a lot of people don't want to believe it until it hits home. When it hits home, it's too fucking late. Because, oh, well, it didn't happen to my family, so fuck it, and that's how most of us see that shit, right here, right now. Most of us see that shit is, well, wasn't my grandma, so fuck it. Wasn't my grandfather, fuck it. Wasn't my girlfriend, fuck it. Wasn't my mother, my brother, my sister, my niece, my nephew, my son, my daughter, anybody else that I left out of the family dynamic. It wasn't any of them. They're not kin to me, so fuck it. What about your humanity? You gonna say fuck that too? Think about that as I end this. Are we all going to look back on ourselves and say fuck our humanity? Because that's what we're doing. That's pretty much what we're doing. Because you might not like the way your dry cleaning got done by Mr. Chang last week. That does not give you the right to go down the street to Mr. Wan's house and fuck up his shit. You may not like the chicken and waffles that you got from Roscoe. That does not give you the right to go down to Bojangles and Kentucky Fried Chicken and burn the motherfuckers to the goddamn ground. And that's just metaphors, because I don't know if white people or black people run Kentucky Fried Chicken or Bojangles. No. But at the same time, you can't get mad at a museum that wouldn't let you in because you were too poor, and then you decide, well, if I can't do that, I'm just going to go burn down Disneyland. No, you can't do that. You're taking your anger out on the wrong people. Society needs help. And until we all realize we are part of the problem won't get fixed. Thank you for watching. It's Kung Fu Epic number 2. And for Instagram,